Hey, I'm Oliver, creator of Revilo. Revilo is a 2D, multi-platform, minimalist game engine with a core constructed in C++ and Lua as a scripting language. While the engine is geared for 2D video games, for this demonstration I'll also be using it as a presentation software. Here we can see the file structure of a game built in Revilo. Actor components, which are Lua scripts, text fonts, images to render to the screen, and scenes full of actors, as well as config files. While the C++ core of my engine is compiled in binary format, any developer using my engine will be able to view and modify all these files to make a game. To start making a game, let's first head to a scene file. Here we have a list of actors, and in this case, one named background. We'd probably like to have an image to display and at a certain position, so let's add some components, a sprite renderer, and a transform. Looking at the transform, we can see some members, which are just data, and the sprite renderer has actual functions that reference the transform component and pull this data in order to display the image at a certain position. And boom, we've now got the background image of your choice being rendered to the screen. Zooming out, my engine offers a diverse but simple Lua scripting API. These Lua scripts revolve around creating objects, which can then be assigned properties and functions that respond to other objects or player inputs. As part of the minimalist design of this engine, these simple functions can be combined to power a variety of applications, from games to presentations, apparently. Let's talk about the technologies incorporated into my engine. I've built this engine from the ground up with multi-platform support, particularly Windows, OS X, and Linux, by using the industry standard SDL library extensively. I've also incorporated GLM to gain access to a whole host of mathematical functions, particularly for dealing with XY coordinates in the screen space. These coordinates are then fed into Box2D, a popular 2D physics engine. To simplify moving information between the C++ core of my engine and the Lua scripting language, I've used the Lua Bridge library. The Lua files for Revilo projects are stored in JSON, a human-readable format, and so I've integrated RapidJSON to enable performant loading of these files. Now that you're familiar with the broad structure of my engine, let's dive into an example game built entirely using Revilo's Lua API. Here, I have mapped the movement of these two sprites to the left and right joysticks of a common controller device. I'm using Lua scripts that create two objects as well as a background and health display. These scripts also tell the left and right objects to move around when I hold the joysticks, and for each object to render a particular image to the screen. My engine supports mouse, keyboard, and controller input via a Unity-styled API. A script can check if a button or key was pressed down, held, or released this frame. In this example, I can press down on the A button to hide the left sprite, but I have to press and hold the B button to keep hiding the right sprite. For an example of the expressiveness offered by these simple input systems, here I've used the Lua API to implement a debug menu, including the lines of text detailing what inputs are being registered and what functions they call. I can press enter on my keyboard, right-click with the mouse, or press start on controller, more about that later, to open or close this menu. I can also open it with one input system, close it with another, etc. Once the debug menu is visible, I can navigate the various options using all these different inputs, and also interact with them in different ways. The menu will also remember which option was last selected while closed. While I glossed over it earlier, there's actually two menus in this example. When I only press start on a controller, a regular pause menu is brought up. Naturally, we'd like to hide the debug menu from regular players, so one of my Lua scripts checks if I press the button combo BA, BA, start, before deciding to open the debug menu rather than the pause menu. I'd like to again thank the different libraries I used in this project, which greatly simplified the development process. Thanks for watching this demonstration of Revilo, my minimalist game engine. I've been Oliver, and I hope you have an above average day.